Welcome to this week's EdTech tutorial video. Today I'm going to be talking about the MCOE web portal. This is new free access that we have until the end of the school year because of the coronavirus crisis, and it includes access to several really cool apps and other resources you can send to your students. To get to the MCOE portal, you're going to want to go to portal.mcoe.org. And you'll see there on the right there is an orange box where you can click on it to get to the free access. And we'll wait to be directed. So usually we have only partial access to some of this information. So there are other things up here in the list, other resources that we sometimes have access to. I'm going to pop over really quick to our Hilmar Unified School District portal. So if we go to hilmarusd.org, all year long we've had access to some materials that the county lets everybody have access to, and you can find those under teacher resources in ours. So even when we lose access because we're getting only temporary access through the end of the school year for the MCOE portal, what I'm going to show you today, this will be available all the time from now on. And I'm going to go over some of this in a future video, but just so you know that this is here. We have Encyclopedia Britannica, teachingbooks.net, ProQuest, and then there are several other links here at the bottom. So I'll go over this in another video, but I wanted you to know that it's there. So what we get in the portal, the MCOE portal, we get California streaming, which is multimedia, videos, images, audio files. It's available to you. Those of you who've been working for a while may remember California streaming. It first came out about 15 years ago. Our district has not used it as much. We're finding a lot of our materials on YouTube instead. The California streaming is its own sort of housed collection of media, and I'll be going through that on another video as well. Brain Pop are animated movies. You can also have quizzes. There's other materials that are connected to STEM, social studies, English, health, the arts, and music. And again, I'll go over that in a different tutorial. Pebble Go and Pebble Go Next are leveled programs. These are for kindergarten through second grade, and then these are read alouds for older students. Probably not as old as middle school, high school, so these two are really better suited for elementary. And then Scholastic Go has nonfiction texts, newspapers, videos, other resources like that. There's normally a subscription service, but we now get it for free. And then we have the California State Library databases, which is similar to what I was just showing you on the teacher resources page up here in our district. Down here at the bottom, we have two things we have to sign in separately to. Nearpod is the one I'm going to talk a little bit about today, and Mystery Science is one that I'll talk about in a different video. So Nearpod is a really awesome platform for distance learning. It allows you to either use a pre-designed lesson or create your own lesson where students can complete it at their own pace, and they enter answers to questions. They can do polls, you can embed videos. There's lots of opportunities for interactive but still distance learning. So we're going to go there. I'm going to close this tab up here so I don't have too much going on my screen. And we're going to click on Nearpod, and it's going to take you to nearpod.com. So now in the future, you don't have to go to the MCOE resources. I just wanted to show you what was there. So with Nearpod, we're not going to sign up for an account because MCOE has already signed us up for one. Instead, we're going to click on Login, and we're going to log in with Google. So MCOE took all of our addresses and they signed us up under the county umbrella. And that is, again, only through the end of this school year. So we're going to click on that. All right, so now what we have is a series of lessons that we can look at. So there's over here on the left, if you are a free user, so in the future when you no longer have county access to Nearpod, you will have access only to this Nearpod lesson library. If your school decided to purchase an account with Nearpod, which is not cheap by the way, if you decided to make this part of your regular curriculum, then you would have a school library and a district library that you could then add shared lessons to. And for us, all we really need to be concerned with right now is the Nearpod lesson library. I'll go into the school library and the district library at some time in the future. Over here to the right, yours will be blank. Mine is full because I've been looking at a bunch of different lessons, and I've also, like in this one, been practicing building my own. So you can also upload, as you see over here, you can upload a Google Slides lesson, which is really cool because if you already have a lesson created on Google Slides, then you could upload it and then insert some of the Nearpod features into your own lesson, which would be fantastic. So just to show you kind of some of the things that are possible with Nearpod, we're going to go into the Nearpod lesson library and we're going to do a search. So instead of going through it this way, we're just going to narrow our results. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on English Language Arts. And I'm going to click on 3rd grade. And I'm going to go down here into Skill Builder. And you can see over here it's populating with, now I have all 3rd grade ELA lessons. I'm going to narrow my resource even further by looking at Skill Builder lessons. So now it's giving me several lessons that I could look at for grades 1 to 3. And you'll see here, up here at the top, see how it's created by English Language Arts Big Word Club. So that is a publisher, essentially, that is creating lessons using that. So I've scrolled to the bottom and I'm going to click on one of the lessons to look at. So the actual lesson is not what you're going to see in this part. You're going to see a preview. So a preview may or may not show you the whole lesson. This says slides 1 through 15, so it's likely you'll be able to see the whole lesson when you're looking through here. If you only see like 4 slides, then what you're likely going to see is maybe 1 or 2 slides plus a little bit of an advertisement. So I'm going to click through preview here and see kind of how they are giving us this information. So I'm going to flip through the rest of this. So learning what it means. There's a little video that will play here.
It's time for another big word of the day.
Calories, a measure of food used to produce energy. Can you use calories in a sentence?
The food you eat gives you calories for energy, and the more active you are, the more calories you burn.
That is true.
I know.
So very quick, accessible little video. Then you can also embed quizzes. This one has one in there. So you get to decide what the correct answer is. And then as a teacher, you'll see the kind of variation of that. So now this is having students write the words. So keeping in mind that if students do these on a smartphone or they do it on an iPad, these drawing parts will be much easier. If they're trying to do it on a laptop or a regular computer with a mouse, it's going to be really hard for them. So for example, I'm doing this with a touchpad, and I have a little bit of practice trying to write with this, but if I were doing it like a kid, I would probably have a really hard time writing the word like this. As you can see, my E has some issues. Okay, so you can see that you have lots of options here. There's more slides that go on. Use the word calories in a sentence. So this one really goes through a lot of information about how to use the word. How do you feel about it? I feel green about this word. Okay, so when you're ready, if you think this lesson is really good and you want to use it, you're going to click on Add to My Library. Now in a future video, I'll show you what to do and how to present it to your students. Now I've gone back to the Nearpod library, and this time I'm going to click on Science and 7th grade, and I'm not going to select a resource type. I'm going to go through and look at some of the options that are here. You'll notice at the top there are several bundles Most subject areas have this, where they create bundles of lessons together. But I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these 7th grade lessons and flip through it, mainly to show you that there are some other features besides polls and little drawing questions that can be included in these, and many of these lessons do include those. So this is a fairly long lesson with 22 slides. So it has an open-ended question, and we had just looked at one of those in the previous lesson that we looked at. But this one allows students to type in a response. So they don't have to draw anything, they just type in their answer. There is some direct instruction here. There's a little video for students to watch. There's also a partner activity, and in this partner activity, might be more difficult to do with distance learning, but you could add a little note here in the underneath to just say, find someone in your family or talk with a parent instead of finding someone from another class. There's another open-ended question for students to respond to where they type in their response. Some more direct instruction. Another open-ended question. Another video. And then there are other features like this one where students can take words and drag and drop those words into those blank spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. As I'm doing it, you'll notice I'm getting the answers wrong. Part of this is on purpose to show you that it doesn't show students if they're right or wrong. All it does is let them put in the answers. So they have to think about and pay attention to how they're doing and make actual decisions rather than just dropping these in, because it's not going to tell them if they're right or wrong. Once I've dropped all these in here and I click to the next slide, it will tell me how well I did. So now it tells me I got 0 out of 9. I hit close and I think, oh, I got to go fix this. Well, now I can't fix it. I've completed it, so I either have to restart the lesson to go back and redo it, or I have to just forget it and keep going. So there's some quiz at the end of this for students to complete. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to flip through it so you can see what's there. So there are lots of opportunities to check for understanding. And again, if you want to use it, click on the Add to My Library here at the end. So once you've gone back to your library and you can see those lessons that are in there, you have two options. The live lesson is what you'd only use when you are in class with your students. If we're doing distance learning, you would click on Student Paste. I'm not going to cover that because this video is already very long, but I will cover that in a future video later this week. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.